Not looking back at last
Well, when
Saturday.
you watch the tape, though, when you watch the tape, what did you see?
Well, we just didn't play very well. I mean, I think that's obvious in any phase of the game. You don't run the ball, you give up sacks, and just can't move the ball and get first downs consistently. And it was for a variety of reasons. I think it was a collective effort, but in the offensive line, we certainly didn't do our part. But what we've really tried to do with this week is what you have to do sometimes. You have to make the corrections, and you address those very directly, and then you move forward. And I think if you sit back and you worry about what happened last week too long, then you get yourself in trouble. And the same thing can happen if you look back on a win for too long. So to us, literally that game was done Sunday when we finished watching the tape, and we've really moved forward and focused all of our efforts on this game this week.
How much do you think it'll help just having, for the third week in a row, the same lineup? You know, you getting Chad kind of more involved, and we talked to AJ and Randy talked about this kind of communication things here. They're still kind of popping up some.
Yeah, definitely are. And that's more of an issue on the road, especially when you've got some young guys in there, because when you're at home and the center makes a call, everybody can hear the call. When you're on the road, that call is probably not going to be heard by the tackles, so the guards have to pass those calls out to the tackles, and the tackles to the tight ends, and from all of us to the running backs and fullbacks and protection and all that sort of thing. And there's an added level of communication and an added amount of importance on each guy being able to do that. And there were a couple times we didn't get that done on Saturday. But it's a learning experience for some of those guys. But yeah, I think, yes, it will definitely help. The more a young guy plays, the better he's going to get.
Do you feel like you got the five you're going to stay with? Everybody stays healthy.
I've got no reason to think right now that would change, but I would never say that it's going to be that way, because I've been in situations where a guy hit a slump and just wasn't playing very well, and another guy at the same time might recognize his opportunity, and you put a guy in there for a little bit and he surprises you maybe getting in a game. So I'm not going to say that is the case, but I got no plans at this point of seeing it any differently.
Has Greg Robinson improved to your satisfaction in the last 2 months?
To my satisfaction? He's improved, but no, not to my level of satisfaction. I do think he's working hard, and I think the last 3 weeks he's really kind of recognized where he is right now. And, you know, a lot of freshmen in his position just kind of ride the year out and really don't improve much and don't learn much and don't get much better. And he really has focused these last 3 weeks. I think it's been a greater sense of urgency on his part to get better and get himself ready if we were to need him. But what I've continued to impress on him and Christian is, hey, you're not just trying to play for now, because you may not get on the field this year. Good chance you won't, but you're getting yourself ready for next year.
Christian, has he done the same thing?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, those two guys have improved a lot, and I'm looking forward to see what their future is going to look like, because they're both, I think, very talented kids who are the right kind of kids too.
How about, we've heard about Tunde Feriaki and Eric Mack, some of those guys. Have they made a little push?
You know, the last 2 weeks, both of those guys have gotten a lot better. They really have. And, you know, obviously, since losing Coop, it increases their level of importance and hopefully their sense of urgency. And so what I told both of those guys right away, you know, we had a little bit of a security blanket with Coop because he could slide over and play center. And we always knew that Chad could fit in where we needed him to. But with Coop going down now, not only do we lose a guy at guard, but we also lose a guy who was our backup center. So I put the pressure on Mac and Tunde, and they responded well. So I'm more pleased with them right now than I have been at any point.
Who would be the next guard in the game right now? Would it be Blake?
No, Eric Mack.
Eric Mack. Mm-hmm. And if you had to replace a tackle, would you move Chad?
Probably, yeah. And
then put Eric Mack in there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the direction we'd go.
So Eric Mack would be basically be next guy.
Next man in the game,
no matter who
other
gets
than a
there,
center.
other than center.
Other than center, yep,
And if it was center, it'd be
Tunde,
Tunde.
yep.
So is he kind of moved ahead of Blake Burgess a little bit, or?
Yeah, he has at center. And Blake is doing some other things for us,
Yeah.
you know, helping us out in some other formations and getting us an extra body on the field. We're just so thin when we try to get an extra body on the field, whether it be another lineman or another tight end, just like we did last year with Brandon and then Coop later on. We're doing that with him right now. And he's, you know, such a conscientious kid. He's able to do that and done a good job of it.
Has there been any thoughts if you look back to the earth, to whenever you basically made the decision, that have you second guessed yourself at all about Greg and Christian not playing?
No. No. And not because I don't think that they could have stepped in, but the bottom line is they just weren't the best fit at that time and still aren't. You know, if at any point we had decided that we felt like they were ready, because what you gauge it on is practice. I mean, practice is a test for those guys. And if they're not showing you in practice that they're ready or not better than the guys you have on the field, then you don't have any basis for putting them in the game. And like I said, I think the future is going to be really, really bright for those two kids. But no, I don't question what we did with them at all.